Hey guys, welcome back to my colourful country life. We are back with part 2 of my every page I have ever coloured, and we should be able to get through this all in one video. I think we're going to be starting off with Johanna Basford today, and I think we'll start with small victories. Now, a lot of these pages were buddy colours. Some are colour alongs, some aren't, but there is a playlist for this book, so if you have a look there, you'll see any colour alongs that I have on the channel for this book. This one is a buddy colour, and I've used Prismacolor pencils and Distress inks. This is from April 2024, and there's some Sparkle Pop on there as well, and that's about it. This one is the Artex watercolor pencils. Now, I think I colored this in my review, so you can see the color combos I used and all of that stuff if you look at my Artex watercolor pencil review video. And these actually, I really like these color combos. I really do like using these pencils when they're activated, not so much dry. So you know how with the Oberg Duras sometimes we activate them and then maybe on the second layer I leave them dry. You can't really do that with the Artex watercolors. I mean, you could, but I don't like the effect. So I like them activated, and this is just them activated, so nothing else. But you could activate them and then you could use your Artex pencils over the top if you wanted something a bit more vibrant. But this is purely the watercolor pencils activated. There is some Jelly Roll glaze on there as well. Oops. All right, so this is from May of 2024. I think this might have been a buddy color as well. It's Prismacolor pencils. The background is soft pastels, and I went with night, day, and morning themes. I like what I did with the houses. I'm not quite sure that I like what I did with the background, so I kind of wish that I would use pencils instead and made like cloudy backgrounds or like a galaxy through the sky or something like that. Yeah. But I do like how I coloured the houses. This one here is so colourful. I love this page actually. It's from October 2024. This is also a buddy colour. I've used Prismacolor pencils, but the background is Distress inks. And I also used that sort of water drip effect to remove some of the Distress ink colour to give it that sort of splashed look. And I'll lift it up so you can see it. So you can see the splashes, where I've removed the Distress ink with some water splashing. And it does have the Imagine Crafts Sheer Shimmer Spray in Sparkle on the background. And we have some Sparkle Pops as well on the image. So, we have this one from February 2024. I adore this one. I think it's my favourite page I coloured in this book. I have seen this one recreated a lot of times, and I've also seen people use these colour combos that I used here and brought them onto the opposite page as well, which looks amazing, and I actually think I might do that myself. So I used Prismacolor pencils, and it's soft pastels for the background clouds, and it's just really colourful. I just love that explosion of colour. There's some Sparkle Pop pens on there too. So that one is definitely a colour along up on the channel. Okay, so from November 2023. So this is a bit of a contrast compared to how bright and bold the last one was. But I also love this, and I love those sort of muted tones. So I've used polychromos for everything except the background, which is Distress inks. And what I have done is bordered that off with some washi tape before going in with the Distress inks. And there is the Kaiser Craft Gold Shimmer Mist in the background there. Otherwise, it's all polychromos. And this one here is a colour along up on the channel. So that last one, the Lighthouse one, is also a colour along. This one is definitely a colour along as well. And it's from March of 2024 using Prismacolor pencils, soft pastels for the background. With this page, I remember when I was looking to colour it, I decided I didn't want to do a gold fish. So every time I colour a fish, it seems to be like an orangey golden colour. So I wanted something a little bit different, and then I decided to pull that palette through the entire page. There's also some extreme glitter on the bubbles as well. This one here I've seen recreated quite a lot as well. This is from December of 2023. So I do colour a lot of beachy, underwater, summery scenes in December because it is summer here in Australia. So this was Prismacolor pencils for everything. The gold pen in the background, I can't remember what I used for that. Don't know if that's a pen touch. It's a bit more yellow than the pen touch, so I'm not quite sure, but it's in the colour along video. And there is some Ohuhu, that's the Ohuhu glitter markers that you can see shining on that page. This one is also a colour along up on the channel from November of 2023. This is all Prismacolor pencils. This sort of aqua background is my Artex acrylic markers. I think it's the Sympatap off the top of my head. And then there's just some sort of jelly roll glazes in the orange, the red, and also the pink. Oh, and the yellow, just to match that colour palette. We have this one here, which is coloured with Wuma pencils from May of 2025. And that is in my review for the Wuma pencils as well, so you can see the colour combinations in that video that I used. This one is from February 2024 using polychromos. There's a little bit of sparkle on there, and I think it's the Sparkle Pop pens. This one was a buddy colour as well, July 2024. I think it's also a colour along up on the channel. This is with Prismacolor pencils. I do like that colour palette. And I think I use these colours because I plan to bring these sort of reds, oranges and greens through to this page as well. And that is all I've coloured in Small Victories. Next up we have the Miniature Secret Garden. Now this is the only miniature book that I purchased. And this is not like Small Victories. So the images in the miniature editions are actually from the full-size books and they're scaled down to size. So the details become really, really tiny. I would hate to see Lost Ocean scaled down to size because look at those details and this is from Secret Garden. So you can imagine the details from the Lost Ocean pages. So like Small Victories, the illustrations are intentionally small to fit those pages, and these are scaled down sizes, and they don't go all the way into the edge either. They are, I believe, are they single-sided? No. Maybe some are. Possibly. This is the one I coloured, and this is from 2020, and it's all Prismacolor pencils. Yeah. And that is all I've touched so far in this book. Oops. Oh, that one's a bit bigger. That one might be a nice one to colour. Yeah. So, next up, let's look at Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. And I've got a few pages completed here. So first up we have this one from 2019. So an early page with Prismacolors and an early attempt at using soft pastels here. So probably wouldn't go with that colour these days. We do have the lights from the lanterns here, and I think that light source would have been better if we'd used maybe a brighter colour for the background instead of me going in with what looks like a black soft pastel. Also, I notice here I haven't coloured the sugar cubes or the icing on the cupcakes as well. I've just left them uncoloured to represent white icing and sugar cubes. We've also got the Calero gold paint on the outside here, and that's the CSY paint there. Oh, there's some soft pastel in the centre here too. That's a little bit better blended. I think that would have been nicer if it was like a light purple instead to match the rest of this. Looks like a plate. I don't know what it's meant to be, but it looks like a plate. We've got this one here. So this is from July 2025. This was me testing out the Ohuhu Halavar pencils and comparing them with the polychromos. So I do have a video on that, which is where I colour this butterfly, and I'm trying to work out which side I used the Ohuhu Halavars on and which side was the polychromos, and I can't work it out. They look so similar. I want to say that's polychromos, but I don't know. I can't tell. And we've got some sparkle there with the gold outlined in that butterfly. I should colour this one in opposite colours. This one here was a buddy colour from February of 2024. I like this really soft peachy palette. It is all Prismacolor pencils with soft pastel for the background. Little bit of gold sparkle pop in the centre there. And there's some sparkle pop here too in orange. We have another oldie from June of 2020 with Prismacolors and Neocolor 2. So that is a very early Neocolor 2 background. I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, I used one Neocolor 2 crayon only. So it's just that one blue tone. And then I tried to have it darker near the objects and lighter as it goes out. But I can see I haven't very well blended that out. You can see it's streaky out here, but yeah, overall, I think the picture looks pretty good. And you can see some gold Calero paint as well on the page. This one is really old, September of 2019. This is polychromos, but I'm pretty sure the background here is Prismacolors and everything else is polychromos. I can still see all the tooth through the paper, so I didn't really blend that the way that I do these days. That's how I know it's an early one, because I wasn't covering the tooth so much. Now I do remember at the time that I colored this having Johanna share it on her Instagram, which made me really happy. I absolutely loved this page when I first colored it, and I like those color combos as well. This one was June of 2022. Now I started this a lot earlier than that, but I finished it in 2022. I think it had been a long-term whip for a couple of years at that point. I had to go back through and erase some of the work, and I think I then went in and used gesso first to cover it up, and then I went over the top of that. I sanded it down, then went over the top of that with some pencil, so I can still see it isn't perfect on these walls here, but it kind of just gives it a little bit of texture, which I'm okay with, because I think the overall double page spread looks really pretty actually. It's one of my favorites that I've colored in this book. And this was using Prismacolor pencils and of course Distress inks for that cloud background. There's some CSY paints on here as well. The Doorway to Enchantia. Okay, so this one is a really old one from October 2019. I love this color palette as well. This is all Prismacolor pencils, and I think I was trying to match the color palettes from that page to that page. A little bit of a theme going on here. I really like how I colored this one. I wish it had been a color along up on the channel. I was a few months before I started my channel, so there is no color along for this one, but I did really enjoy coloring it. I love how it turned out. I really like the bricks. I like the lantern colors. I didn't even note the colors, I don't think, so to recreate it. Okay, and the lovely Wonder Room here from April of 2020. This took so long to colour. I quite like this. I want to go for something a little bit different. So we've got a lot of pink on the furniture. The floorboards. Were the floorboards there already? Yeah, they must have been there already. Yes, lots of pinks and lots of greens. I like that lamp. It looks really pretty. Yeah, lots of details, but I like the feathers as well, all the different colours on the feathers. And these two pages here were all Prismacolor pencils. So this is from March of 2020, and the background is entirely Prismacolor pencils. If I was doing this page again, I might use my Derwent Inktense or some Neocolor 2s instead for that blue background, but I like the blue and the pink together, and I've kept the same colours for Ivy here as that I've used on Ivy here, but unfortunately neither of these were color alongs up on the channel. And I think that's all I've done. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, and there's no sparkle or anything on this double page either. No white gel pen, no sparkle, nothing. Next up, I've got How to Draw Inky Wonderlands, and I have done a couple of pages in here, but drawing is not for me. So this is from November of 2019 using Polychromos pencils, and I've got that sort of bokeh effect background. The whole thing is Polychromos pencils. I think that black water though is my Tombow water-based markers, and oh no, it's a Posca. So my Polychromos, Clearo paints, Posca, and some stickles as well. So you can see the stickles on the bee wings. And then, oops, I've done the book belongs to nameplate page here as well, also in 2019, and also with Polychromos. And that's it. So I haven't touched this book since 2019, but I'm not really that interested in drawing. I'm not that great at drawing. I wish I was. Yeah. But it is a fun book. So we got to add. So this was adding in lots of different details. And if I remember correctly, I added in the lantern. These plants here dropping down, I think I added in the bee maybe, or the butterfly. I think I added in the butterfly, and I'm pretty sure I added in some of these plants too. Yeah. Add some inky insects to this garden scene. Add the bugs from the previous page or invent your own. Yeah. You can see the size of that bee. I think I must have added that in. Actually, I did. I can see the pen marks. Yeah. So that is How to Draw Inky Wonderlands. And I also have 30 Days of Creativity, which I didn't actually really do much with. So I have coloured in this title page here using Prismacolors and Distress inks, but that's all I've done. So I don't know. I mean, I have realised that I do prefer to colour than draw. I'm just reading to see. Draw your own ice creams here. This one, fill the outline with drawings of meaningful items from your life. Yeah. I like the pages that are colouring pages, but I don't really want to add my own things. Robots. These ones I could probably do. Planters. I've got some fish here. Yeah. So this is 30 Days of Creativity. Draw, colour and discover your creative self. Next we have Wonderful Wildflowers, which is Johanna's newest release. I have coloured one page in here so far, which is a colour along up on the channel. And that is the page I've completed. That was using Prismacolor pencils, Distress ink for the blue background, and a black acrylic paint. I think it was a Deco Art black acrylic paint, or it's called Lamp Black, I think, for the background there. There's the Kaiser Craft Gold Shimmer Mist in the background, although it's not very misty because I am at the end of the bottle, it's not quite as fine, so it's, yeah, quite blotchy, but I do like the effect. And I've used my gold STA gel pen from Journal Say and my Tooly Art paint pens. Yeah, I like that one too. So there will be a few more colour alongs coming from that book. It isn't my favourite, which you probably know if you've already watched my review, but there are some pages in that book that I am excited to colour. Next up we have Magical Worlds, and I really like this book actually. So we've got this page from November of 2024. This is a colour along up on the channel. I believe all the pages in this book are colour alongs up on the channel. This is with Prismacolor pencils, and we've got the Distress inks for the background. And I can see Jelly Roll Glaze, and of course Tooly Art paint pens, different colours to cover those black lines. This one here, November of 2024, Prismacolors and Distress Ink. So I wanted kind of a galaxy type of background with the Distress Inks. And oh gosh, there's so much colour on this page. When I say so much colour, I don't mean like lots of different bright colours, but just lots of different colours. So that background I think is like 5 or 6 different Distress Inks to get that background. Plus we've got the gold shimmer mist from Kaisercraft. We've got the Imagine Crafts shimmer mist in Sparkle. We've got white paint splatter. Lots going on. And then this double page spread from January of this year using Prismacolor pencils. I love these pages. I love this style of illustration as well. It's giving me Lost Ocean vibes, which is one of my favorite books, and I would love to see more underwater pages from Johanna as well. That's just my personal preference because that's what I like to color. Yeah, so that's all Prismacolor pencils. There's some like different paints on here as well. I think the KJ designed by Karron paints, and some sparkle pops maybe by the looks of things. And that is it so far from Magical Worlds. Next up, I've got Worlds of Wonder, and it looks like I've coloured quite a few pages. I think these are all colour alongs up on the channel. This one definitely is. This is from April of 2021 using Prismacolor pencils. For the entire thing, I've seen a lot of people recreate that page. This one is from 2021 using Prismacolor pencils, and for this one I followed Chris Cheng's tutorial. I absolutely adored her version of this page. There's another double page spread she did in this book as well, which is absolutely stunning. I think she's also done the other side too, so maybe I might go in and follow her tutorial to do the other side, so I've got 2 matching pages. One day when I have time I might do that, but I love the colours that she chose, and she's just a master. Chris Cheng is wonderful. Okay, so we've got this one here from June of 2021, and I've definitely seen this one recreated quite a lot of times, and it is all Prismacolor pencils. Gosh, that background took forever. So all that water is also Prismacolor pencils. Probably wouldn't sit there and do a background with just pencils like that these days because I do tend to use more mixed media, but I love the outlook. I love the outcome of this page. The beautiful blending of the blues. The Prismacolor blues are just really soft and they just smoosh well together. And then we've got the difference in the background here. So this is all bright and bold, and then we've got these ribbons at the top and the bottom here, and they're just sort of this muted tone, which I think really makes the image in the center just pop right up off the page. And what have we got next? July of 2021. Okay, this is Polychromos with a soft pastel background. I really am not a fan of this background. I think I would go back in and change it if I could. I was trying to do like a cloud background, and this was before I had my cloud stencil, so I kind of made my own cloud stencil with some paper and cut it out and tried to use it for the sky, and then I tried to blend the blue into the green here, so we had sky and ground. Yeah, maybe one day I'll go back in and change that up, but it is a color along up on the channel. Okay, and this one as well, also another one I've seen recreated quite a lot too, from April of 2021, and it is completely colored with Prismacolor pencils. There is nothing on here. There is no shine, no sparkle, not even any white gel pen. The border is black Posca. That's all. That's it. So September of 2022. Now this was coloured for my How to Colour Flowers video, and it's using Prismas and my white Signo. This double page spread here, I used different pencils for each little island and element. So there is a mix on this double page spread. Now there is a video for each separate section. So I think one was Castle Arts, one was Black Widows, there's a Prismas, Polys, Luminance, etc. So there's a different section for each one. There's a different video for each little section as well. And then the background is Distress Inks with my cloud stencil. So I think this is when I just bought my cloud stencil. So it is a very early attempt. So you can see it's not quite as smooth as what I'm doing now. I can still see some of the circular marks. Yeah, but I really do like this double page spread. And that is Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford. Next up, I've got Enchanted Forest. Now, this is an oldie, so there might be some older work in this book. Okay, so this one is from May of 2022. Now, I completed this in May of 2022, but it was a long-term whip, and I do have a blog post on my website about how I fixed this. I think it was this side. I think this side is the one I started with, and I had a Prismacolor background, so I went over it with gesso and then with my Neocolor 2s, and I matched both backgrounds. Everything else is Prismacolors. We've got Calero paints. So there's no colour along for this, but there is a blog post explaining how I fixed it. There was something else I had to fix too. I think it was down here, this section. I think I erased the greens. I can feel it feels different, so I might have used gesso over the top of that too. I can't remember what colour that was. And then, oh, hang on. Okay, so we've got this one here from July of 2019. So we've got Polychromos and Prismacolors. I believe inside the circle here is Polychromos. Everything outside the circle is Prismacolors. And I remember at the time liking the fact that I used muted colours in the centre and then bolder colours on the outside. I don't know if this moon was there or I added it in, but I do like that moon. And I like this sky in here too. It kind of looks stormy, like lightning strikes, and it's windy and stuff like that as well. So I like the colours that we've used in here. The water I'd probably do a little bit different. I have tried to add in some light source here, but the lantern is here. So, and I haven't coloured the top of that candle either. Yeah. Now, I'm sure there was more than just these ones. Let me just have a quick flick, because I thought I'd coloured in this book a lot more than that. Did I write anything at the back? Let me have a look here, because it's got all the pages. Maybe it's not in this book, the pages I'm thinking of. Maybe they're in Magical Jungle. 2019, 2019, 2022. Okay, no, that's it. So this is from 2019. Now, this was coloured with Polychromos pencils. So it's from July of 2019. So very early work, just a few months into my colouring journey. And I actually love this. I wish I could recreate it. I wish I had written down the colour combos that I used so I could recreate it again now. Yeah. I was trying a softer look with my pencils, so it's not fully burnished. You can see the tooth through it. Now, this background, I believe, is Prismacolors. And like I mentioned in my first video, I always said I couldn't draw very good circles, so I used to use a circle stencil. And in this page, I outlined my circles with a lead pencil. So, and I didn't rub that out either, so you can still see the lead pencil around all the circles. And then after that, I swapped to using the lightest colour in the colour combination for the circles, and now I'm able to draw them freehand. But it took a while to get there. And, oh, should I just see something coloured? Was I imagining things? I must be imagining things. Okay, so that's it from Enchanted Forest. I miss the days when Johanna had dust jackets on her books. So, not with this one obviously, but with other dust jackets, I would take them off and take my book around and colour in it without the dust jacket on. So it would look nice and neat still. And I'd have a nice neat coloured book without a dirty cover. Speaking of Magical Jungle, let's have a look at that one next. And there's quite a few coloured in here, I think. So there's some oldies and some new ones in here, I believe. Oops. So we've got this one here from January of 2024. This was Prismacolors for everything, but Inktense for the background. And I coloured one page and then I was asked if I had a video for it and I didn't. So I went and coloured the other half as a colour along. So there is a colour along for one half of this page. I can't remember which half, but there is a colour along for half of the page. Yeah, so it's all Prismacolors and Inktense for the background. That background, I absolutely adore this background. It did take a really long time, but I do love the end result. I think it's really effective. Some of my favourite Johanna colorings are in this book actually. So this is from June of 2025 and this was using Amazon Basics. So I did a challenge using budget pencils and seeing what I could create using budget supplies, and I think I used under $20 US worth of supplies. If I remember correctly off the top of my head, there is a video on it. And this is the Amazon Basic pencils. We also had, so I also bought some cheap glitter gel pens, which I can't remember. Oh, they were Temnit. I can't remember the name. And then the white pen I used was this one, the Marvi Reminisce. Yeah. And that's what I used on this page. And funnily enough, a lot of the times when I use a white gel pen over the top of pink or on top of purple, it ends up turning the white gel pen hot pink, and you can see here that that hasn't happened with this nice cheap pen. I'll have to try the pen out with some Prismas or polys because it could be the pencils that are stopping it from changing colours. Hang on, I'm missing, there we go. So this is from August of 2019. I love this page. It is all Prismacolors, including the background. And this one I have used a coloured pencil to mark out my circles with my circle stencil, but I love it. I really like the colours I've used on this one. I like how soft it is. I think it's really pretty. And I think I did another page in here using similar colours. Yes, so that was Prismacolors. This is Polychromos. I'm not quite a fan of this page. I think it's the water actually. I think it's the water that I'm not liking on this page. Now I did add extra detail, so I think I added in, I think that was the waterline and that was it. So I think all of this here, so the land, the mountains, the waterfall, I think I added all of that in myself. Yeah. That's not a colour along either. That's from 2019. This one you might have seen quite a few times. I know a lot of people have recreated this one as well. It is from September of 2023 using Prismacolor pencils for everything. There is Ohuhu glitter markers surrounding some of those leaves. And this is the page I was colouring in my How to Blend for Beginners video. So if you have a look at that video, you'll see me colouring, I think it's this leaf here, and also because this isn't all Prismacolors, I wanted to show that you could also blend with cheaper pencils. So I've also used Crayola on one of these leaves, and looking at it, I don't think you'd be able to guess which leaf it was. It's on this side of the page. See if you can guess which leaf is the Crayola coloured pencil leaf. Yeah, I adore these double page spreads. One of my favourites I've ever coloured. This one here is from July of 2022 and it's Prismacolors and Distress Ink. So everything's Prismacolors, Distress Ink for the background. It ended up being a 3-part colour along. At first it was how to colour leaves, and then it just, I think we did a how to colour leaves section, and then people asked me to complete the page, so I completed the page, and I think it's turned into a 3-part colour along if I remember correctly. It is up there on the channel, and you will also see my second puppy because July of 2022 is when we got my puppy Boss. We brought him home. He was a bit of a surprise. He needed a home, so we took him in, and you will see him featured in the beginning of one of those videos in that series. He's really cute. So yeah, he's a little bit older now, but still just as cute. And we've also got a new puppy since then now. And this one is very recent, from November of 2025, using Prismacolor. Yes, Prismacolor pencils. I had to think about that one for a moment because this was a challenge video where I used just the smallest set, the 12 set of Prismacolor pencils. So it was a viewer requested video to see what I could create using just the smaller set, because Prismacolors aren't easily accessible to everybody. So it was a bit of a challenge using just 12 pencils to create a colouring page, and it's probably not the colour palette I would have chosen for this page if I had the whole 150 set at my fingertips, but I think it looks good. I like it. I'm really impressed with how I managed to create the paper effect using just those 12 pencils, because I was stressing that I wasn't going to be able to do that and I was going to have to make it like a green or a brown color or something like that instead, coming from the tree trunk. And to make it pop off the page more, I decided to do this black acrylic background. This is using the Deco Art paint again in Lamp Black, and that does take forever to do, to get around all those little pieces as well. So sometimes it might be easier to use an acrylic paint marker instead. But that is all I have coloured in Magical Jungle. Alright, now on to Johanna's Christmas, and I've got a few pages to show you here as well. Some old, some more recent. And this one's really old, so May of 2019, using Prismacolors and Copic markers. That's smudged everywhere. I can see all of that back there. That was an early attempt at trying to create gold. It looks very yellow. Yeah, and an early attempt at snow as well. And, of course, another early attempt with a galaxy background too. December of 2021. So I didn't realise that was coloured so long ago, actually. It feels like I coloured this just last year. It's Prismacolors and Distress Inks for the background. Yeah. My little grumpy owl in his ugly Christmas sweater. I like that page. What else have we got? This one here, December of 2022, using Artex and a soft pastel background. So that's the Artex 126 set. Is there any sparkle on this page? Oh, there's a little bit of silver gel pen. I think that's it. Another early one. I love this page, actually. This is from November of 2019. I've noticed I've done this background a few times in 2019, so it must have been a new technique that I'd learned. Probably not a big fan of it these days, but I think it worked, and I really like this page. I love how I coloured the polar bear, actually. Yeah, and the presents as well. Also, it's Prismacolors and Polychromos. Okay, so this is Polychromos. The pink combo, the green and the purple combos are definitely Prismacolors. The background is Prismacolors. And I'm going to guess the water is also Prismacolors. Yeah. So back in 2019, I did mix those pencil brands up quite a bit. So this is November of 2020. This was Polychromos. I remember I started filming this as a colour along, and then I didn't like it. So I scrapped the footage and it was never seen. So yeah, it's all Polychromos. There's some metallic paints on here and jelly rolls. Oops. This one here is from 2022, using Prismacolor pencils, and there's some silver paint in the center. I'm not sure what brand that is. It's not a color along. And then we have one last one, which is this one here. So this was completed in 2022, but I think it was a whip before that. And I've used Prismacolor pencils, and the background is a soft pastel. So that is everything from Johanna's Christmas. Now to one of my favourites, which really needs to have a lot more love. We've got Lost Ocean, and I have a couple of pages here. So I'm trying to keep the same colour palette or a similar colour palette for most of this book. This is from October 2020 using Prismacolor pencils. It's not a colour along up on the channel. Or is it? It's not. I'm pretty sure it's not. October 2020, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not. April 2022, so this was a long-term whip. I'd started some of the coral, and I think I'd done the centerpiece here, and then I just went, or had I started the background? I think I started the background and the centerpiece, and I went in and did all the coral after that. Yeah, but that was completed in 2022. And I like how we have the vibrant colours on the outside and the muted palette in the centre. And it's just drawing your eye in. So it looks kind of like the vibrant colours. So vibrant colours tend to push forward and muted colours tend to push back. So it looks like this is at the forefront and you're looking through the coral to the little building, the little house here. So if I'd done the opposite and had the muted colours in the coral and then the house bright, the house would have pulled to the front and then the coral would have looked like it was behind. Now this one is a colour along up on the channel using Prismacolor pencils from March of 2024. Now I end up doing a soft pastel background and I did the soft pastel background last. So it did kind of dull the colours a little bit. It was a lot more vibrant before I added that blue background. But still, I really like this page and I love this book. Do I do now? I have only done... Actually, that's not a colour along and that's not a colour along. So... I'm just looking now because I want to colour more in this book. Would anybody like to colour some more in this book? That'd be really fun. Somebody asked me to do a gel pen only tutorial. I think that'd be a great page for that. And I'm picturing this page with more like sepia tones, not like really bright and colourful. I think that'd be fun. So, one of my favourite books, and from that one to another favourite book, World of Flowers, and I have 2 copies here which I'll explain in a moment, so I'll pop this one to the side. And if you have been with me for a while, you will know that this was my first actual proper colouring book when I actually started the hobby. So back in December 2018 I got this book and a set of Prismacolor pencils for Christmas and started colouring away. So this is very, very early work, me learning how to use my pencils, learning how to blend, learning how to put colour combinations together, or trying. It did take me a while to learn how to put a colour combination together. It didn't just come that easily to me. Just it took a minute to click. So I did recycle colour combinations for a while until it did end up clicking. I just used the same colour combos over again. So this one is January 2019 using Prismacolor pencils for the entire thing. And as you can see, the background, it has faded a bit. So this was before I was using workable fixative too to fix my pages. So you can see that they have dulled the colours, but you can also see that they're not as well blended. So I had a blender pencil back at this time as well. So I was using the blender pencil to help me smooth out my colours. I don't use a blender pencil now. I use my lightest colour in my combo, but when I first started, everyone told me to get a blender pencil, so I did, and that's what I used to smooth out a lot of my colour combos. Mostly just for this book. This page I love. I absolutely love this page still to this day. I love a lot of the pages that I coloured in this book. I have really fond memories of the process and the learning elements of the pages. So even at the final result, you might look at it and think it's not the greatest work. It's not my best work either. It does have a place in my heart because I remember colouring it at the time. I remember how much I enjoyed it, and I remember what I was learning as well. So we're trying a bokeh background effect here, and these are hand-drawn circles. I think I did pretty well. And all of this stuff is added extras by me. I've whited out the black lines up here to try and soften the flowers on the top of the sugar skull. I really like the colours I've chosen. Yeah. And from there to April of 2019. So both of these were in April 2019. Another attempt at trying to cover those black lines. And being 2019, I would have been using a white Posca, and it hasn't really covered them. It hasn't been really opaque. Then we've got a black Posca to outline the butterfly. I've used my neon colours on the butterfly to make it really pop out, and then the muted colours in the background. So like I was saying with the other book, the bold colours will pop forward and the muted colours will go backwards. And that's what I've done there. And I've done another like bokeh effect background here. So clearly in April of 2019 I was practicing bokeh effects and also whiting out black lines. Also of April 2019, and also whiting out black lines here for the flowers, not for the leaves. I love these color combinations. I think they look really pretty together, and I like the black background too, which is a Posca paint pen, and that just kind of like lifts all those colors and makes them pop, I think. I have colored a lot of pages in this book actually, because when I got this book and my Prismacolor pencils, it was the only book in my collection, so it was all I had to color at that time. So we've got May of 2019 using Prismacolor pencils. I really love this page, and I actually remember sitting down here before we moved permanently. So we didn't move permanently until the end of 2019, and I remember sitting down here, sitting outside actually in the sun, coloring this page. I love that background. I love how I created that background. This is really pretty, really soft. It's Prismacolor pencils. I don't know how old this one is. I don't have a date on that page. April of 2019. Oh, you know what? I like the end result of this page, but I remember at the time I actually coloured the bird here a completely different colour palette, which I didn't like, and I erased it as much as I could, but to go over those colours I had to use these sort of tones. They haven't blended that well together. We've gone from like black to blue to purple to pink to orange. So it's very colourful, but I do like how it is the opposite to the background with the greens and the blues. And then this soft effect we've done here. So for the branches, I have whited out those black lines as well. So again, April 2019, I'm whiting out my black lines. And I like the softness of the background too, just around the objects. I think that's pretty. And I've continued whitening out those lines on the branches, even going through to this background, like it's wrapping around it. This one here is 2019 with Prismacolors, and this was following Chris Cheng. I love the colours from this page. Really pretty. I love these flowers as well. And how we did the dandelions? No, what do they call these things? I can't remember. Okay, so we've got January. Both of these are January 2019. This one here had a different background, and it was sort of like lots of rainbowy type of colours. I can't remember what I was doing, but I remember having lots of different rainbow colours and not liking it, so I went over with a black Posca and covered that background. And I added all of these rocks in myself. I think I also added in this branch perhaps to close it in. I don't know if that was already there. Maybe it was. Maybe I can't remember. This one I like. Prismacolors. The background is also Prismacolors, just a soft purple. The pencil. This one's a little bit crazy. So from March of 2019, it is so busy. But again, you know, everything I did in this book was learning something new. So I have added this background, and the wallpaper background looks very crazy. I did make a mistake here, which I tried to use some whiteout to cover that up. And then I added in these floral as well. So all the colours do match, but it is just so crazy busy. And it was a busy page to begin with. So yeah, it's very out there. I haven't coloured the snail. The snail is uncoloured. But you can see here, like I said, I was repeating my colour combination. So I had a few written down and I just used them over and over again at the very beginning of my colouring. And you can see I've got like this purple pink one with the neon pink. This one's got the neon orange. There's one with a neon yellow. Yeah. And I've just repeated those colour combinations all the way throughout. I do love this one from February of 2019. I love the colour palette. And this is what I was saying, all of my fish were like golden colours. So that's why I did the pink purple one, Small Victories. But yeah, and I like these flowers too. I like the colours. Okay, so we've got December, both of these are December of 2018. So let's look at this one first. This is all Prismacolor pencils. I added in my brick background here. Very first attempt at trying to add in some clouds as well. And I don't know if both of these ends were there. Were they already there, or did I close it in? I remember wanting to make it look like a window. And I have covered up some of these, or attempted to cover up some of these lines on the papers to make it look more realistic. And you can see my little white stripe here. So that was, and on this side, prior to the book falling open naturally with colour in it so often. Yeah, so we didn't get into the spine there. So I always crack my spines now so I can get right into the centre of the book. And then this one here was my first page, I believe, that I coloured. And I added in this background here with the trees, the sign, and I try to make this sort of like a grassy area, and then going into little bushes here, and then the trees at the back, and then with these sort of like birch trees. Are they birch trees? Yeah, at the front, and then this sort of like a dirt path with this rusty old ute, and I have covered the black lines on this one as well, just on the flowers, not on the leaves. Oh, while we're talking about this page, actually, I'll show you my other copy of World of Flowers, because I ended up recreating this page a few years later. So I've only coloured the one page in this book in my second copy, and that is from October 2021. Just wanted to see how my colouring had changed. Now, I kind of prefer the colour palette for this page here, but I like to see how my blending has changed for this page. And what's that? 3 years. 3 years of colouring. So my blending has improved quite a lot, especially with the trees here. So you can still see my pencil outlines because I used a stencil for the trees. And here there were no pencil outlines. Yeah. So I think my technique definitely improved by the time we got to this page, but I like the colour combos over here. This is still going to be one of my favourite pages that I've ever coloured, I think. And as you can see, I'm right in that spine, unlike up here. So, yeah, put that one to the side because we've got more pages in this one. I reckon I could finish this book if I wanted to. Okay, January of 2019, Prismacolor pencils. Now, when I was colouring this page, I remember attempting to go for a muted palette. So with the background, with the colours of these little houses, and then in the end, it didn't turn out, and I added these sort of fiery flowers here, these pink ones, which has the neon pink in the centre. And this here is something I started doing quite a lot in the early days. And you can see it on each of the flowers. I've just sort of used the colour of the flower and sort of dragged it down. I don't know what I was attempting. It's on every flower, and I remember doing this on a few pages as well. And of course the background, I was attempting to, not so much a bokeh effect, but just to have like it lighter around the light sources. So I was treating the flowers as if they were lit up. And then of course you've got all these little dots here that I was treating like little firelights. Yeah. My little bug here with Prismacolors. So originally he was very bold, very vibrant, very colourful, and I left it as a long-term whip. So I think I finished this back in 2021 or 2022, but I started it in 2019. So it took me a while to get back there, and I had to try and erase as much of that colour as I could. And by doing so, I then had to use darker colours over the top. So hence why he is the colour he is. And I'm not so fond of him or this background here, which I think is soft pastel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a soft pastel background, but I do like the border here. I like the colours I've used there. I think he could have been really different. Obviously I didn't have much choice at the time because I was having to erase what I'd already done, but I think if he had been perhaps pink and purple or even red and orange, I think that would have suited the page. Okay, so next we have these two, both January of 2019, both with Prismacolor pencils, including the background. So I've done the background in a circular fashion to try and draw the eye into the center of both pages, and I've tried to do the opposites as well. So we've got the blue background with the red orange flowers, and then we've got the red orange flowers with a blue background. I've tried to add in some grass here. Oh, my butterflies, I try to add like a little shadow behind them, but it just kind of looks like I've smudged the colours. Okay, another double page spread. This was from March of 2019, and I started a bit of a phase there where I was trying to get a more muted look. I really enjoyed looking at muted colour palettes, but that does not come naturally for me. Bright and bold comes naturally for me, even back in 2019. So I started over here, and I actually really like the colours I've used here. It works really well, and I was starting off muted, and it just got more vibrant as we went along through the double pages. And you can see I'm using those fluoro colours again that I used in the other double page spread, so I'm using the same colour palette. It's a black Posca border. This one here from March of 2019. So you can see in this book I did a lot of experimenting and adding my own things, which I don't do as much these days, but I have added in my own background here. I love how I coloured this flower. So this is all Prismacolor pencils, including the background. I'm not a fan of my little toadstool houses. I think if I removed them, I would prefer the background. The mountains have that really bright green combination, like the mountains in Kirby Roseanne's Geomorphia, if you remember from part 1. But I like the flowers. I think the flowers look really pretty. I like these two, the orchids. And to our intro pages. This is from December 2018, so one of my early colorings as well. And I absolutely love the colors I've used, and I love the background. So I'm looking here and it looks like I've gone peacock green, parrot green, true green, light green, and then I've got the blues coming here to meet up in the middle here, blending them together, and some beautiful bright color combinations too. Black Posca backgrounds. Oops. And this is also from December 2018. My book belongs to Nameplate. I actually really like this. So I'm not quite sure what I was aiming for with the background, but I like it. It works. So it's not blended very well. I'll lift it up and you can see all the tooth through that, and it's definitely not blended well. I don't know. I cannot for the life of me recall what I was trying to do, but I think it works. Whatever it was, it works. This page I love. It is also December 2018 with Prismacolor pencils. I love the color palette here. It's very autumnal, and I really wish I had the color combos written down for all of these flowers, because I would love to recreate this. And I have no idea what colors I use, but yeah, that is World of Flowers. So I've done a lot in that book. Like I said, it was the only book I owned at the time, so that was all I was colouring in. Next is Secret Garden, the 10th anniversary edition, and the pages I've coloured in here so far are these two using the Staedtler Design Journey pencils. So this is from January 2024, and that is a gold Jelly Roll metallic on that circular design in the center. So it did have words written around here, and I didn't like the words, so I got I drew the circle in and I used my Jelly Roll pen to cover that up, and then I matched this side as well. And they're the color combos I used with my pencils. Last but not least, I have Rooms of Wonder, which is a full book colour along up on the channel. So I haven't put any tabs in here because every page will be a colour along, and at the end I will mark when we started it and when we completed it. So I'll do a quick flip through because I'm sure you've all seen all these pages before. So I'll flip through very quickly. And like I said, there's a playlist up on the channel specific to this book that has all of these pages included in it. So this is a Neo Colour 2 and a watercolour paint background. Got Distress ink backgrounds. That is all pencils. This was a Derwent Inktense background, and after I coloured this, I said I was never going to colour another large Derwent Inktense background again, but I have since then, so I clearly forgot how painful that was. This took me just over two weeks, sorry, for one page, and over 2 weeks for the other side too. So that's a Current Whip. It's Oberg Duras. Prismas, there's Oberg Duras in the background. Prismas, soft pastel background, soft pastel background. Distress ink backgrounds. Another distress ink background. I think this is a soft pastel background. Distress ink background. This is still one of my favorite pages in this book altogether. I love my Cracked Brick Wall. This was another Derwent Inktense background, so I can't remember which one I did first, this one or the one at the front. I think I might have done the one at the front first, but this was the most painful thing I have ever coloured with the colour palette we were going for. Disney Haunted Mansion. I don't know what possessed me to do all of that in Derwent Inktense. That's 3 layers of Derwent Inktense, and gosh, it was just very painful to colour. Soft pastel background, everything else is Prismas. 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 We've got some gouache on here with Prismas. I love that gouache colour too. Prismas, but this is adding washi tape to your colouring books. There's a video on that. Soft pastel background. It's all Prismacolors. One of my favourite pages in this book as well. And another one of my favourite pages in this book is this one. This is all Prismacolor pencil for both as well. I think if I had my time over again, I might not use yellow as my clouds. And I think that was a Tim Holtz Distress watercolour pencils for the yellow, I think. Or could have been Neocolor too. Soft pastel for the backgrounds. Gouache for that background, otherwise Prismas for everything else. That's all Prismas. And soft pastel in the background there, otherwise all Prismas. Prismas. Soft pastel in the background of both of these two. And that's just Prismacolor pencils, lots of sparkle pops and yeah, different Pentel gel pens. That's all Prismacolors. And I think that's it. Oh no, and that's a Distress ink background. So that is all my Johanna Basford colouring books. Moving on now to Christine Karron, and I've got the Wildflower Folk book here. I've coloured one page in this one, which is a colour along up on the channel. This is from May of 2023, using Prismacolors with a soft pastel background. I love this page and I love Christine Karron's work. She's one of my favourite artists. So I would like to colour some more in this book in 2026. There's some white Signo on here, not that much, and some stickles, but I love her skin, I love her hair, I love that soft colour combination. I think it's really pretty and I love Christine. And then I've got Wondrous Folk by Christine, another book I absolutely love, and I've coloured a few more pages in this one. I'm only seeing 2 tabs, but there should be more. Okay, so we've got this one here, which is the Samba Dancer. I love this page. This one isn't a colour along up on the channel. I was using it to test out paper for my review. So I threw a lot of different things at this one. We've got Neocolor 2s in the background, Prismacolor pencils. There's so much Jelly Roll glaze in black, so it's really textured. We've got glossy accents on her eyes, and that's about it. I do love the colour combos, I love her skin, and I love the glossy accents. I think it just kind of adds that little bit of extra with that embellishment. Just a beautiful extra texture on the page. We have this one here, Orchid Dream, from August of 2025, using Prismacolor pencils, and this video is featured in my How to Colour Hair. Yeah, this one is the one featured in my how to colour hair tutorial. I love the flowers here. I think the orchids look really pretty. And this, these things here, I don't know what to call them, but these little swirly things, I've used one of the KJ Design by Karron paints, and I don't know if it's going to catch on camera, but it is super packed with sparkle. Then this one is more recent, from December of 2025, using Prismacolors but basing with Tombow water-based markers. So that was fun. I like the background and I like the color palette. I wanted something that wasn't too Christmas traditional, something a little bit different, and I did think of this beautiful dusty pink color with these peachy tones. I think they look really good on this page. I love the background. So that is my completed pages from Wondrous Folk by Christine Karron, and there are so many beautiful pages in here. So I do hope to colour some more in this book in 2026, but I'll probably go with Wildflower Folk first because there is only one page completed and I do love the book. So we might be seeing that a little bit more often in 2026. And moving on to RJ Hampson. So this is Christmas Tiny Homes, and I've got one page. Have I only got one page completed? November 2024. Yeah, it must be just one page. I love this Christmas book and I love this page. It's very Aussie Christmas, and it is Prismacolor pencils with I think I've based it with alcohol markers. No, oh yes. All based with alcohol markers first and then Prismacolors over the top. I love how vibrant and bright and colourful that is, and I love that we have a surfing Santa in some board shorts. Next is Forest Song. Now this was, I think this was my first, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is my first RJ book, and it was prior to me owning alcohol markers. So these were all coloured with Prismacolors, I believe. Let's have a look. Yes, September 2022, Prismacolors only for this page. That's our Little Red Riding Hood. And then September 2022, Prismacolors only for this page as well. Yeah. So now I like to base these pages with my alcohol markers so I can get that really bright, vibrant tone, because it is Amazon paper. So I find using just coloured pencils don't get that same sort of vibrancy that you can get on this paper if you do basing beforehand. So next is Mountain King, my favourite RJ Hampson book here. And I think this one is the one I've coloured in most recent. I love this page. It reminds me of something out of a cartoon. This is from August of 2024 and it is using Ohuhu markers and Prismacolor pencils. So Ohuhu alcohol markers, which you can see the basing there. And then Prismacolor pencils over the top. And I love how smooth, how blended this is, how bright and vibrant it is. And you can see the difference, like I said, with basing as opposed to just coloured pencil. You can see how much more vibrant it is on this paper. Yeah. And that is KJ Design by Karron gold paint for that background there. And there's also some extreme glitter and also some Sparkle Pop pens. And then there's this one here, the Sea King from January 2025. I believe this is a colour along as well. And again, I've used alcohol markers, but I think it was before I had the Ohuhus. So it is a mix of different branded alcohol markers with Prismacolors over the top. And again, that KJ Design by Karron gold paint. And there's a silver paint here. January 2025, that could be KJ Design by Karron, or it could be the CSY paints. Yeah. So that is all I've done, is it? 2? Yeah. Yeah, that is it for Mountain King. Then I have a Frog's Tale, my last RJ book in my collection. I've got a couple of pages completed here. So just thinking, okay, so we've got this one from August. Yeah, this one is from August of 2024. I believe I did a colour along with this page, but I think it is a tutorial on basing with alcohol markers. It will be in an RJ Hampson playlist, but it could also be in my Colouring for Beginners playlist as well. So I used, again, a mix of different alcohol markers. So I didn't have any large sets at that time. I had about 3 or 4 different small sets. So that's what I was mixing up with. Distress ink background and gel sticks for the ground, and then Prismacolor pencils on top. Yeah. And there's some glossy accents on the eyes too. And then this one here is from February 2024. And I have used my alcohol markers underneath as well. And then Prismacolors over the top. And there's a bit of glossy accents on the toadstools as well. So they're all my RJ books in my collection. Moving on to Millie Marotta. So I've got one of her pocket colouring books here, which is Animal Kingdom. Do I have the full-size Animal Kingdom? No, I don't. Okay, so I have coloured one in here. This is not a colour along up on the channel. And this was Prismacolor pencils. And the gold paint, I think, is CSY. And I've got extreme glitter on the wings of the bees as well. But it's super fun, super sparkly. Just a cute little page. And that's all I've coloured in that book. Next, I've got Woodland Wild. And I've got one page. Oops. Get a hold of it. There we go. One page completed. Oh, this is a colour along up on the channel too. So this is Prismacolor pencils. Distress ink for the background. I have whited out the wings. I can't remember what I used on there to white out the wings to dull them out. And then I used some extreme glitter over the top. And I've also based with Derwent Inktense as well. Yeah, it'll all be in the colour along up on the channel, but got some sparkle there, and it looks like I've used the Imagine Crafts Sheer Shimmer Spray in Sparkle for the background too. Now I thought I coloured more. Is it just the one? Yeah, it's just the one in Woodland Wild. Island Escape. This is my favourite of Millie Marotta's book, so it's the one I've coloured in the most. Still, I think I've only got about 3 or 4 pages coloured. So this one here is October 2022, and it is only Prismacolor pencils. And I tried to use opposite colours for the butterfly to the florals in the background. And you can see it's not as vibrant as the other page where I did the basing. These are not single-sided, are they? No, these ones aren't single-sided. So, is there anything else on here? No, there's no sparkle or anything like that. There's some white Signo, and that's about it. This one. Oh, okay, so this is from October 2023. Now, after I coloured, oh, what page was it? I don't know if it was that one. Or it might have been, no, it might have been that one. So what happened is, oh, I did my review for this colouring book. So I did my review, and people were saying to me that they didn't like the paper, that they were finding the paper too smooth for their pencils, and nothing they used was working for them. So what I did was I did a colouring showdown for Millie Marotta, which is in my Millie Marotta playlist, and I tried all of the coloured pencils that were in my original colour conversion chart. So I think it was 9 different pencils, and I used them on the ocean here. And then I ranked them out of which ones I thought worked best on the paper and which ones worked worst on the paper. And I think I don't know if I completed the page using that pencil brand or a different pencil brand. So I'm not quite sure what I used to complete the fish and the rocks and everything. There is some, oh, what's it called? The Light Wish Super Golden markers on there. For the veins on the leaves and stuff, and also around the eyes of the fish. But yeah, this ocean is actually about 9 different pencil sets. So that is up on the channel under my Millie Marotta playlist if you want to see which pencils worked best for me in this book. Then we have this one, most recent coloured from August of 2025. I based with my Tombow water-based markers. Then I used Prismacolors on top of them. And I've also used soft pastel for the sky here. And my Deco Art Lamp Black paint for the background. And I think this is a colour along up on the channel. Is it? I can't remember. It'll be in that playlist if it is. Okay, so my last of Millie's books in my collection is Secrets of the Sea, and I have one page coloured in here. This is not a colour along up on the channel. It is from January of 2023. Oops, move that out the way. This was coloured with Black Widow pencils. I've also used Jelly Roll Stardust, Jelly Roll Glaze, and Jelly Roll Moonlight on this page as well. So I've used that throughout the water and throughout the fish too. But otherwise that is all Black Widow pencils. And that's all I've coloured in this book. Just having a look through because you guys know I love water and ocean themes. Just wondering why I haven't coloured in this one more. I'll put that back in before I put the book away. So that's everything from Millie Marotta's books. Next I've got Derya Cakirsoy, and this one is Colour & Chicks Colouring Book 2 Fantasy Fairy Portraits. It is the grayscale edition and it is August of 2021. I absolutely love her work. I don't colour in it as much as I should, but her pages are beautiful and I never really see them being coloured in either, but I do love her work. This one is all polychromos. And I like how this one turned out. I like her eyes. I like the glasses and the glass effect on there as well. But I'll just show you a quick flip of some of these beautiful images. Like, look at that. I love colouring grayscale as well. But her beautiful faces. Oops. I'll show you from the back here. Just a quick flip. Oh, that was from the bushfires 2019. There's some of them a little bit more grayscale than others, like that one. And then some are a little bit less. But the faces are so cute. And I have another one of her books. From Halloween to Christmas, another grayscale edition. And I last coloured this in October 22. Actually, it's the only page I've coloured. And this is Prismacolor pencils only. So I could be doing basing with my alcohol markers. Oh, that's a good one for Halloween. So it is Halloween to Christmas. So I think the Christmas pages are at the back. So I'll show you a quick flip. Oh, there's some extra pages back there. But yeah, here we go. Christmas. Like, look at that. Do you guys like to colour grayscale books? I know a few people struggle with grayscale. Look at Santa. So these are heavy grayscale books. So, or some of them grayscaled images, I should say. So these are ones that I would definitely base first. Look at how cute he is. Look. Oh, we've got a little otter. I should have picked this one up for Christmas. This is really pretty as well. And then we're on to Halloween. So lots of fun pages. I actually have seen this one coloured by a lot of people. Yes, that's all Prismacolor pencils. I like the background. I actually like the colour scheme altogether. I probably would base the illustrations since this date, so that's 2022. I didn't have alcohol markers back then. I love her eyes, but the skin is heavily grayscaled, so you can see a bit of a grey tint to it, which is okay because she's Dracula or Dracula Rita. She's a vampire. It's okay to be grey. I've seen this one coloured a lot too, but yeah, I definitely would base next time so it wouldn't, the skin doesn't look so ashy. I've seen that one colour too. Yeah. fun books. I need to get some more of her books actually. Oh look, on the back it shows you all the different images. So let's move on to Leila Duly, and this is the Flower Year, and I have this is the oldest image I coloured, which is just this simple little one here, just with Prismacolor pencils. And then I coloured this one here, which is a colour along up on the channel from July 2024, and that is also just Prismacolor pencils. And that's what I've done in this book. Very detailed, very realistic flowers. I also have Leila Duly's beautiful Planet, which I've coloured a few pages in. This is quite a big book. And we've got, this one is from May of 2025. Just make sure that that is in camera. This is based with Inktense and Prismacolors over the top, and then a black acrylic paint in the background. I think it's that Deco Art Lamp black paint. And then we have this one here, which is from 2023, from April. And this is Prismacolor pencils with the Distress Ink watercolor pencils. So the background is the Distress Ink watercolor pencils. Everything else is Prismas. There's also Jelly Roll glaze on the eyes, white Signo, and Jelly Roll metallic on the fish scales as well. And that is all I've coloured in this book so far. There's some really detailed, big, busy images. Like, look at that double page spread. And that one, it's a greenery. It's a really big book. The paper's fantastic in this book though. Okay, so that's Leila Duly books. Next, I want to look at Emelie, Lidehall, Oberg, and I've got Fairy Tales here, and I've coloured one page in Fairy Tales. So I think this is still available. I know the other one sold out and had to be reprinted. This is from 2016, published by Gibbs Smith in 2017. Have I got the UK? I do. So this is, yes, this is a Gibbs Smith 2017 edition. Yeah, and the only page I have coloured is this one here. Now, this was a long-term whip. I had coloured, I believe it was this book, and I did not like what it was looking like, so I left the page. I came back to it a few years later, and I erased as much of that colour as I could and changed the colour palette to these purples and blues, and I do like the end result, but I think this was like a 2021 perhaps colouring, so it's still a fairly early colouring. And it is all I've coloured in this book, but this book does have some beautiful pages in it, beautiful illustrations. And I have to say, I do prefer this paper to Fairy Tales and Folklore. The paper in this book is so much better. That page I love. I think that's the cover image. Yeah, that's the cover image. So, yeah, the paper is much nicer to work on. The pencils go down much better. Really happy with how the Prismacolors lay down on this paper. It is that sort of off-white, creamy coloured. These are beautiful pages. That one looks like a fun one. Emelie's Lemonade. Yeah. So much better paper in my opinion, in my humble opinion, than the paper in this book. So I do love this book, and I love a hardcover book, but I found the paper in this one a little bit more difficult to work with. So I have coloured a couple of pages. This one here is from October of 2024, and I used watercolour paint for the background. I based with Inktense and then polychromos over the top. So I was just trying to test out this paper to see what it could handle. And what might work better for me. So I did find basing did work really well with the Inktense. This is a colour along up on the channel as well. Now, the very first page I coloured was just with Prismacolors, also October 2024, and that was this one here, the nameplate page. And looking at it, it looks really smooth, doesn't it? Like, the blending looks really good, but I struggled to get that blending to look like that. it took a while. So Prismacolors didn't work so well in this book. Somebody did tell me, I think they said Black Widows off the top of my head worked really well. So far I've tried Prismacolors and Polychromos, and neither of them I found worked too good for me in this book. So I might try Black Widows next time and see how that works. Yeah, so that is Fairy Tales and Folklore. Moving on to Teresa Goodridge. This is Country Christmas. I have 2 pages completed, so I've got an early work here with Prismacolor pencils only from December of 2019, and a whole heap of stickles on this page as well. I actually really like this page, even though it's very early colouring. I still think it looks really good, and I like the colours that I used. This one is very recent, November of 2025. It is based with Ohuhu alcohol markers, Prismacolors over the top, and of course that KJ designed by Karron. I've used Tule Art paint pens and also the Ohuhu acrylic markers as well, and the Ohuhu glitter markers too. So I've also got Country Charm by Teresa Goodridge, and I only have 1 page coloured in this book, and this was a buddy colour from June of 2024, and this is coloured completely with Oberg Duras. I don't think this is a colour along up on the channel. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Yeah, completely coloured with Oberg Duras, and there's some white Tule Art paint pen on there. That's it. So they're all my Teresa Goodridge books. Next, let's move on to Denyse Klette, and I've got Gnomes in the Neighbourhood here, and I've got 1 page completed from June of 2023. This one I based with Tombow water-based markers, Chromaflow pencils over the top, and the background is Neocolor 2s. Now, Neocolor 2 does not work too great on this paper for me. It's a little bit better than what happened to me when I was using it in Erie's books, but it still doesn't blend as smoothly on this paper as it normally does. So I think next time I would use Distress inks over the Neocolor 2s in this book. And that's not a colour along up on the channel. Fairies in Dreamland. I've got 1 page completed in here as well. This is July of 2024. Oberg Duras, Polychromos, and soft pastels for the background. And there was a lot of Kaisercraft gold shimmer spray as well on there. Now, I did have a different background originally, which was, I think it was a cloud background, like a sunset. Like I think it was going from dark to light. So you can kind of see the shadows of it in the background there. I didn't like the effect though, so I erased it and went through with this brighter colour instead. Yeah, and that is all I've coloured so far in this book. So all these books that only have 1 page coloured are books I might try to work more in 2026. Did I just see a pig? Was that a pig? How cute. That is adorable. Yeah, and that's all I have of Denyse Klette's books. And now let's look at Jasmine Becket-Griffith. I have Alice in Wonderland here first. So this is from October 2024. This is the page I've coloured here. And I used the Nione chalk pastel pencils for her skin. I based everything else with Derwent Inktense and went over the top with my Prismacolor pencils, and then that background there is like a metallic paint. And I think this is the colour along up on the channel. But that is all I've coloured so far in this book. And this paper is amazing, by the way, too. I really love the paper in these books. Not just the Jasmine Becket-Griffith books, but the Blue Angel Publishing books in general. They have great paper. So I've got this one here as well from Jasmine Becket-Griffith, and this page is an early one from April of 2020, and it is purely coloured with Prismacolor pencils, and I still love this page actually. Very early on, so very early skin colouring and hair colouring. My attempt at adding in grass. Now, I remember when I started adding in that grass and it looked like a hot mess at first, but the end result actually works really well. I like the texture. So that is it so far, but there are some beautiful images in here too. And like I said, it is beautiful paper to work with. Okay, next up, I have the 19 Girls series by Wheeshan Ong, and I've got 1, 2, and 3. Let's look at number 1 first. I've only coloured one page in each of these books. This is from February 2024, and I've used mixed alcohol markers. So again, before I had the larger sets of Ohuhu, and then I've gone over the top with Prismacolor pencils, and all that glitter in the background is extreme glitter. And I think that silver is probably Sparkle Pop. But that's what it looks like at the back with the alcohol markers. Oh, that's gone through as well from the brown. I wonder if when I was colouring the brown, I forgot to put the plastic behind. Knowing me, that's probably what I did. That can be covered up though. It's all in that moon. Cover it up with some gold painted moon, perhaps. Yeah. So mixed alcohol markers with Prismacolors over the top, and then the background was already black, so I've just gone in with the extreme glitter over the top. Number 2, what have I coloured here? October 2024. This one here again is mixed alcohol markers. So the hair I blended just with alcohol markers. That was the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blends. And I've gone over the sweater with some Prismacolor pencils, and that's it. Everything else is purely alcohol markers. So you can see the blending and the shading and stuff there. Yeah, I think I've gone over the skin with Prismacolors too. So that is it. There is a review for all of these 3 books up on the channel if you want to see more of the images. They are Amazon paper. This is the 3rd book in the series and the final book in the series, and this is from June of 2024. Again, I used a mix of different alcohol markers and Prismacolors over the top and that extreme glitter on that black background again. Nice and shiny. So that is them 3 books, and they're all the images that are inside on the back here. But if you have a look at my review, you can see the full flip through of all 3 of those books. Now I have a couple of books from Tatiana Bogema, and the first one here is Nice Little Town. I think this is the first of the Nice Little Town series. Again, an Amazon printed book. I've only coloured the one page, which is this one here, and I used Prismacolor pencils only, and I really like it. I actually really do like her work in general. I don't have very many of her books, and I'm not too fond of the Amazon paper. I'll show you the other book in a minute, which is a bit bigger as well. Yeah, there's so many books in this series actually. But the images are really cute. So that is a Nice Little Town. But I also have Vintage Classic Colouring Pages by Tatiana Bogema. Now, I haven't done much in this book. I've only coloured the nameplate page here from April of 2023, and that is using Albrecht Dürer's only. We've also got some glossy accents on his eyes and some stickles on the wings, but that is all I've coloured in this book. Look at that, that is really cute. So her illustrations are actually adorable. I wish they were printed on better paper. They are single-sided, so you can use your markers. It just feels even thinner than my RJ Hampson books. This is a really interesting collection. Look at that. They're really pretty. Yeah, and at the back you can see a selection from all of her other books too. So look, that's Nice Little Town 4. Something for Valentine's Day, some dragons, animals, steampunk. She's got something for everybody. Christmas page. Yeah. So all illustrations from her other books. Yes, that was April of 2023. And next I've got some books from Evelyne Vancoetsem to show you. There are reviews and flip-throughs of these books up on the channel, and I think I've got some colour-alongs on these pages as well. So this one is from November 2022. I love this page. I like the texture of the teddy bear, the hair, and also the colour of the flowers too. I think all of these colours just suit the colour palette of this page really nicely. And it's all Prismacolor pencils with some soft pastels in the background. And we've got this one here, which I think is also a colour along up on the channel. This is from June of 2024. So I used mixed alcohol markers for basing a lot of this page. The hair is Spectrum Noir Tri-Blends only, nothing on top. But the fish, the koi fish, have Prismacolor pencils on top. Perhaps even the skin might also. But yeah, Prismacolor pencils for the eyes and the mouth as well. The background is my King Art gel sticks. There is some liquid pearls on here for that added texture. And the shell has a bit of pearlescent paint on top as well. So that is the first book of Rose and Her Friends. And I've got the second book here. Only one page completed. From July of 2023. This is also a colour along, I'm pretty sure. This is Albrecht Dürer's only. Nothing else over the top. So it's Albrecht Dürer's activated. Surely the hair isn't Albrecht Dürer's. The hair looks like it's Prismacolors. So maybe I did Prismacolors for the hair, Albrecht Dürer's for everything else. Perhaps. There is some stickles on our butterfly and some glossy accents on our mirror as well. And it looks like CSY paint perhaps on those pearls. And the last of her books in my collection is A Sweet Critter's World. This was coloured in April of 2023 and is also a colour along up on the channel, I believe. It is all Prismacolor pencils, stickles for the pearls, and white signo for some details, and that's it. Nice simple one. And moving on to my Ohuhu colouring books, I've got Mandala and Animals here from September 2025. I coloured this page here with the Ohuhu alcohol markers. So this, you can see me colour this entire page in my review for the soft chisel tip markers. So I used the soft chisel tip to colour this entire page, and then soft pastels for the background as well. And there's also some Ohuhu glitter markers on here, some Tuli Art White paint pen. Now this paper is amazing. It is bleed proof paper, so you don't need to put anything behind to protect your page, and that's what the page behind looks like. So nothing bleeds through, and it is a double-sided book. So that's all I've coloured in that one, but I also have My Simple Pleasure, and I've coloured a page in this one too, which I think I did in my review for these books. So there was 4 in this current collection, 2 I've coloured in, 2 are still uncoloured, and this is using just the Ohuhu alcohol markers, and that was from June of 2025, June of this year. Oh, and there's Ohuhu glitter markers on there too, for that added bit of sparkle. So that is Ohuhu, My Simple Pleasure. All right, we are now on the home stretch. So all of the books from here on out, I only have one book per artist. So let's have a look at this one first, which is Enchanted Creatures by Lolita Aya. And I've coloured a few pages in this book. Starting at the back here, this one was a buddy colour from February this year, and I used Albrecht Dürer's for basing, polychromos over the top, and soft pastels for the background. And we have some Kaisercraft Gold Shimmer Mist on that background as well for some added shine. And this one here is from August 2024 with Prismacolors only, and I coloured this when I was testing the paper for the book. to see how well they would lay down, and the Prismacolors work really well on this paper. And then after I coloured this page, actually, I did get asked to do some colour alongs because, as you can see, they are very detailed, they're very zen doodly, and a lot of people were unsure of how to tackle these pages. So I coloured the owl here, Mysterious Owl, on January 2024. And this is using Prismacolors only. So the bokeh background, that's Prismacolors as well. Everything on here is Prismacolors, with just some white Tooly Art paint pen, and that is it. There is no sparkle at all, I don't think. Oh, there's a little bit of a gold. I think that's my pen touch. But otherwise, that's it. So that is Lolita Ayer's Enchanted Creatures. Next, I have Flowerscape in Paradise by Maggie and Terios, and I've coloured a couple of pages in here. I actually love this book. So this one is from March of 2023. I've used Prismacolor pencils, Distress watercolor pencils from Tim Holtz for the background. There's a little bit of Jelly Roll metallic on here as well, so for the borders, and then some Signo white, just to add in some little details. Now, what I love about this book is it has the QR codes, and you can scan there and get a color reference for the flowers that are in the image. So I thought that was a really fun little touch. And this one here is from June of 2023 using polychromos, and there's some Jelly Roll metallics and Jelly Roll Stardusts on there as well. Yep. And that's it from Maggie's book. Next, I have Rhapsody in the Forest here, and I haven't really coloured much in this book at all. I have one whip and that is it, but the book is absolutely adorable. They've got some beautiful images, like imagine that for Christmas. What a beautiful double page spread. There's a reindeer in here as well. This one, that would be fantastic for Christmas too. Some beautiful images. And this is the only book I have of Kanoku's. I really wish I had coloured some more pages in this book as well. I'm just feeling the paper here because I haven't coloured on the actual paper in the book yet. So I'm just feeling it to see what would work best on the paper. So what I have coloured, or what my whip is on the toned tan paper at the back here. And this is following a Chris Cheng tutorial using Prismacolors only. So I was following just for this half, but she does have a colour along for the other half, so I might follow that one too. So you never know what I can learn there colouring the kitten. But I really want to test this out because I don't normally colour on paper that is different to the white paper in the book. So I want to test it out and see the different techniques, and I love how much the white Prismacolor pencil just makes everything pop off this page. So next, I have a Camilla D'Erico book, which is Pop Manga Dragons and Other Magically Mythical Creatures. I've got a couple of pages completed, and I believe both are colour alongs up on the channel. So this is from October 2022. Distress ink cloud background. Everything else is Prismacolors. I remember loving this page so much when I first coloured it. I loved all the different eye combinations that I used, or I say different eye combinations. I've used 2 different eye combinations here, but I loved colouring the different eyes just for extra practice. The hair, I do colour hair a lot better these days, but at the time I thought it was really pretty, and I love the colour combination. I still use that same sort of colour combination now, but I have a bit of a better technique, which you can see in my how to colour hair tutorial. And I've got this one here from October of 2024. This is a colour along up on the channel. We've got Distress ink background, Inktense basing for the werewolf with Prismacolors over the top, and KJ design by Karron, paint in golden. Yeah. So I have one mythographic to show you, and of course it had to be a Joseph Kattenbang book, and this is Magical Earth. I have a couple of pages completed here. I think both the colour alongs up on the channel. This is from October of 2024 using Prismacolor pencils and soft pastels for the background. And I'm going to say that that paint, that gold paint, is KJ designed by Karron. Yeah, some Jelly Roll glaze there as well for his tattoos. And, oh, what happened here? What did I base that with? Did I base that with alcohol markers? They've yellowed through to the other page. I'm going to have a look at that video and see what I used. And that's not bleed through, so that's come after I've coloured the page. It's left this sort of yellow tint. I'm going to have to go back and have a look and see what alcohol markers I used for that. Interesting. It's only the leaves. Everything else hasn't come across. So I'm going to have to see what colour I used for those leaves and what brand. Interesting. Okay. I was about to say they're single-sided, so you could use your alcohol markers. I obviously did. I'm just trying to think because I think that was before. When was that? 2024. Oh, I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna have a look and check. So I've got this one from January 2023. Prismacolors and Neocolor 2s. Now the Neocolor 2s don't go that well on this kind of paper. But the Prismacolors do. And I like this page. I love the color palette actually. I think it's really soft, really pretty. And I actually do like the sky. So I was having issues with it blending out neatly like it normally does. But it worked well. So it looks like a bit of a movement in the sky. Yeah, so a bit of a happy accident there. And that's all I've coloured in Magical Earth. My next book is from Tomislav Tomic. And again, only one page completed. And I think this was like the intro or the nameplate page. Yeah. So I've used Prismacolor pencils, a gold Jelly Roll metallic, and my white Signo. And that is all I've done in this book, which is quite a shame because it is a gorgeous book. I'm thinking all of these books where I've only coloured one page would benefit in a randomizer chooses my colouring book or colouring page type of video. Beautiful pages. Nice thick paper. It's kind of like an ivory colour. Single-sided. This work is stunning. Why do I not colour in his work more often? It is beautiful. It is detailed. Look at this underwater scene. It is right up my alley. It's very mythical, very fantasy. I like that one too. Is that the cover? Yeah, that's the cover. So that is it from Sprook Jespos. I don't know how to pronounce that. Next I have Mouse Guard by David Peterson. Now this was gifted to me by a lovely subscriber, but I think it is currently out of stock everywhere, which is why I haven't done many more colour alongs in this, because I know it is not available to a lot of people. So I've coloured a couple of pages. This one is from April of 2023. I used Distress watercolour pencils, Prismacolor pencils, white Signo, and a little bit of Stickles as well, which is on the eyeball. And then the next page is an actual colour along up on the channel. Oops. That is from January of 2025. And I base with Derwent Inktense and then over the top with Prismacolor pencils. And there's a little bit of sparkle. I think that's a gold sparkle pop. I've got a silver gel pen there as well. So that is a colour along up on the channel. Next up, I've got a book by Raven Phelan, which is Dreams of Dragon and Dragon King. This is also published by Blue Angel Publishing, who is the publisher of Jasmine Becket-Griffith. So the paper in this book is absolutely fantastic. And of course, I love dragons. So this page I coloured in July of 2023 using Neocolor 2s for the background and then Prismacolor pencils for everything else. And my favourite CSY coloured paint down there for those extra shiny details. I think there's some Jelly Roll glaze on here as well. I do love the colour palette for this page. And I love the paper, like I said. The book is really fun as well. Some great illustrations in here if you like colouring dragons. Lots of beautiful images. Some smaller ones there. That's cute. Yeah. Oops, such a pretty book. Next I've got Dimensions by Francois Gautier, and I love this book. It is a grayscale 3D colouring book. It is so much fun. Great paper as well. So this is from September of 2023 using Prismacolor pencils for the entire thing. We've got some glossy accents on here as well, but it's all Prismacolor pencils. And then I ended up, oh, this one's a colour along actually. This one I did as a colour along up on the channel. This one was the original page I coloured in this book. So that was from September. This one is from August. And this one is also all Prismacolor pencils. I don't think there's anything else on here. No, there's not. Oh, there's some white, silver matte gel pen as well. So that could be my silver pen touch, perhaps. Yeah, but I love that 3D effect. It's kind of like jumping off the page. Some beautiful images in here. There's some that I really would love to colour as well. Not so much the pattern ones, but more the scenes. That would be fun with the birds and the paint splatters. There was one in here that I had my eye on actually for another potential colour along. If I can find it. Oh, that one I almost did a few times actually. The tree trunk. I can't find the page I was thinking of. But I wish he would do some more of these 3D colouring books as well. He does a lot of horror and scary theme books, but I wish he would do another 3D book. Next I have The Ink House by Rory Dobner, and I think this one was gifted to me as well if I remember correctly. I've got one page completed on October of 2024. I used Distress inks to base everything on the bottom half of the page, and then Prismacolor pencils over the top. Derwent Inktense, I think I used that to base the top half of the page with Prismas over the top. You've got the Lightwish golden marker there. Super golden marker in golden. And that background is the Artex acrylic markers. Artex paint markers. And that's all I've done in the Ink House. Next up is Stratton Peterson's A Language of Flowers. This was sent to me by the publishers late this year. So this is from September 2025. It did take me a while to complete this page because I was using Prismacolor pencils and layering, and it felt like it took forever to complete actually. It took a few months. And it isn't a colour along on the channel, but it is Prismacolor pencils and Artex acrylic markers in the background with some gold Kaisercraft shimmer spray and just some white Tuli Art paint pen as well. And that is it. So there is a flip through and review of this book up on my channel if anyone is interested in seeing all the way through this book. Next I've got Woodland Wonderland by Rachel Reinhardt, and this was sent to me by Rachel herself. And I coloured this page here back in December of 2024. I based everything with Tombow water-based markers and then Prismacolors over the top. Quite a simple page. Oh, and the background here, I think we had like a semicircle at the bottom, like from here to here, and then I drew that all the way around just to border it all off. So Next up is Secret Worlds by Stephanie Law, and I've got one page completed in this, and that was from July of 2023 using Prismacolor pencils, and there's some CSY paint on here as well. Now this paper is fantastic to work on. It is beautiful, thick white paper. Her illustrations are so intricate, so detailed, but I actually really like them. And when you finish the pages, or I mean, I've only finished one, but finishing that page, you get that really, that sense of accomplishment when you've completed it, especially completing something so detailed. And it does get a little bit confusing at times, trying to figure out where things start, where things end, and what is what. And even on this page, I had to make up things with these swirls to work out where things were starting, where things were ending. But I had a lot of fun. It's a great book, this one, actually. Next up is Goddess Colouring by Anna Jaron, and I coloured this page back in July of 2024, which is when I received the book, and it is not a colour along up on the channel. I did base it all with Tombow water-based markers and then Prismacolor pencils over the top, and there's some Light Wish golden markers, I believe, and the acrylic paint markers I think are the Artex markers on this one. I love the vibrancy of that page as well. Basing with the Tombow markers, you get that really deep, vibrant colour, and you get no bleed through as well. So, best of both worlds. And that's all I've coloured so far. That was the Easter page, actually, which I coloured in July. But lots of fun Goddess pages to colour. Next is the Weird and Wonderful colouring book by Emma Peters, or Storm's Eye Design. I have a couple of pages completed in here. So October of 2025, I completed this page here using Prismacolors, Neocolor 2s, and basing with alcohol markers, which you can see over on the back of the page there. Had a lot of fun with this page. So Neocolor 2 for the background on both. I wanted it to be the zombie coming out of the dark, so we've got the candles lit up here and then coming out into the daylight. I added in some grass down the bottom with my acrylic paint markers as well, and Kindy glitz on those butterflies. So you can see, hopefully, how sparkly they are. We've got glossy accents on the zombie eyes as well. But that was a lot of fun. And the paper in this book is also amazing as well. It takes all different mediums on there. So this is the first page I coloured back in August of 2025. It is a Neocolor 2 background, and you can see how flat it is. So it's got a little bit of a wrinkle through it, but it's fairly flat, and that is without ironing the page or anything like that. I based this page with my Ohuhu alcohol markers, as you can see, and then Prismacolor pencils over the top, and we've got some KJ design by Karron on the centre of the flowers, and some glossy accents on his eyes. And that is it from the Weird and Wonderful. So this was a new to me book this year. Okay, now I have a little bit of a fail from Serenity by Anastasia Ellie Koldarova, and this was from December 2024. So I actually kind of like it, but where I say it was a fail, I started colouring, or attempted to colour her skin using the Nyoni Chalk Pastels, which is a skin tone set, but trying to colour such a dark skin tone with that set was not working. They just didn't have the right colours. Perfect set for light skin tones, but I'm quite surprised, being that it was a skin tone set, they didn't have the right colours to create a dark skin tone. Either that or I don't have the right skills. One or the other, but I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't have a better range of colours for different skin tones. So I did start out with the chalk pastels and it wasn't working, so I went over with Prismacolor pencils. Now that has given it a bit of texture, which is interesting, and I don't mind it actually, but I think I need to add more colour to the eyeballs because they're looking a bit too white, I think, compared to the rest of the page. They need a little bit more colour because your eyeball isn't pure white. So I think I need to use more of like a rosy beige in there and a bit of grey, which I normally do. And I may have, but I can't really tell. The eyelashes, I think I should have defined them a little bit more as well. And the background, I think, is a little bit too dark. So the background is Distress Inks, and it kind of all is blending in too much. I think I should have gone with a lighter background so she would pop up and be the star of the show. I love how I coloured her hair. I think her hair's beautiful. I love her lip colour. I love her skin colour. Yeah, so I do love this page, but it was a bit of a fail with the chalk pastels. They just didn't have the right tones for me, and I think the background's a bit too dark. And that is all I've coloured in this gorgeous book, but she also has the most beautiful illustrations. It's the only book of hers I've gotten because they are quite expensive to get here in Australia, but I do love her illustrations. And maybe if I coloured in the book more, I would purchase another one. But yeah, beautiful illustrations. Next, I've got a book by Jane F. Hankins, which is also no longer in print. This is Halloween, Mischief and Magic, and I love Jane's work. I've only coloured the one page, but it is a colour along up on the channel. It is an older page from October 2022, and I use Prismacolors and Neocolor 2, and it is an early Neocolor 2 work. I mean, look at that background. It looks like a bit of a disaster, but it actually works with the page at the same time. So I don't know that Neocolor 2's worked too well on this paper. It was an early attempt from me, so I probably didn't realise that they weren't working too well at the time, and probably put it down to my skill level instead. But yeah, just looking at how it's blended out now, I don't think it was my skill level. I think it was the paper. And it is amazing paper, but I don't think it's good for the water medium for Neocolor 2. But then again, it might have been my skill level, so maybe I've got to colour another page to test that out. Yeah, so did I say that was a colour along up on the channel? Because that is a colour along up on the channel. It's a big book, actually. Her images are so cute. I wish she was still selling her colouring books. Look at it. Look how cute that is. This is beautiful. Such fun illustrations. Okay, so next let's take a look at this book, which is Watercolour with Me in the Forest by Dana Fox. She does have a few Watercolour with Me books, but this is the only one of hers I have, and I do like to use it to test out different paints and stuff and different techniques. So we've got this one here, which I used the Ulan paint set. So if you have a look on my channel and just search up Ulan, it will come up with the video and you can see me colour these and what the paint set looks like. So in this book, it gives you sort of like a pencil outline for the illustration. Then it explains the different styles used, the colours used, the supplies needed, and the instructions on how to do it yourself to try to achieve that look. What else have I got in here? Okay, so we've got, is that the next one? I thought there was another one in there. We've got this one here, the Monarch Butterfly, and I used the Grabby 100 watercolour set for this one, and a Signo white gel pen. I don't know what I used for this one. I haven't marked it. I wonder if it's the Ulan set again, because it looks like similar colours. Oh, we've got this one here. Oh, my tab's coming off. This one was Ohuhu paints. September of 2021. And that is it. So here are the different techniques. So you can do wet on dry, wet on wet, how to paint fur, ink and wash. And that is it, yeah. Yeah, and then you've got, you can try it out here and it explains the different techniques. Yeah. So that is Watercolour with Me. And now I have this cute little book from Vassal Seiko, which is Reptiloids 2. And I've got a couple in here, I think. Oops. This one here is from January of 2023. So mixed alcohol markers, Prismacolor pencils, and Tombow as well. So alcohol marker basing. Okay, so I've used Spectrum Noir Tri-Blends for the sky and for him. Tombow dual brush markers to base everything else. Wink of Stella. Where's the Wink of Stella? Oh, on the wings. And White Signo. And then I've got this one here from November of 2023, and I've used Distress Ink watercolors for the background, and then Ohuhu markers with Prismacolors over the top, and gold Jelly Roll for that border. And I think I put got a little post-it note here for the colours that I used to colour this one, so I could reuse those colours. It's a cute little book. Oh, this is a cute little book. I think it'd be a fun little one to complete, actually, and a quick little one to complete. I don't have the first one. I've only got this second one, but it is really cute. And next is a really old book in my collection. So this is The Language of Flowers. I don't think it actually has an artist name. So this was sent to me by Hinkler Australia, and it was only released in Australia and New Zealand. I think QBD was selling it. I don't know if they still do because it's very old. So here we go. Published in 2019. It says artist is Jane Hayes. Okay. Printed and bound in China. Yeah. Yeah, so Hinkler sent this out to me, and I've coloured this page here. February 2020, using only Prismacolor pencils. There is nothing else on this page whatsoever. Not too bad. So that was fairly early in my journey. I've got my neons here, my neon yellow. Yeah, I still like that page, actually. It's a cute little book. Different flowers on every page. There's some information on the flowers. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't coloured in this since because there's no point in me doing a colour along if the book is not available. So, yeah. Peonies are my favourite flower. Next up, I've got Coco Wyo's Girl Moments, and my daughter has the same book, so we coloured this page together but different. So we did watch some videos on different alcohol marker techniques, and I grabbed out all of the alcohol markers I had in my collection. So like I said, I never had a large set until my birthday. My husband bought me the 320 Ohuhu alcohol markers for my birthday this year, but before that I was mixing and matching because I only had small sets from different brands. So my daughter and I used different colours, but we coloured it together using the same techniques. That's what it looks like on the back, and it is only alcohol markers. So that is from January of 2025. And I love this Christmas book. It is from Masha Vandenberg. It is Masha's Christmas. And I've only coloured the one page in it so far, but the paper is so thick. Beautiful paper. It's white. It's thick cardstock. And it is perfect for Prismacolor pencils. Beautiful, quick little images. I actually really like that one. That'll be a really fun colour along, I think. That's the page I coloured. Oops. Again, I'm losing my tags. This is from December of 2023 with Prismacolor pencils. There is some Light Wish golden marker on the border. There's the Ohuhu glitter markers. I've added some baubles to the trees with Light Wish super golden markers. And there's sparkly colours there. Either Ohuhu glitter markers or maybe Sparkle Pops. But I think that's a colour along up on the channel. I'm pretty sure I did it as a colour along. And no bleed through of anything either. Yeah, I love this book. I love this page. I've wanted to colour this page for so long before finally getting it done for Christmas of 2023. Next, I have this book by Medusa Dollmaker, and this is kind of a mixed bag of illustrations. I was following her for a long time on Etsy and did download and purchase some of her Etsy pages, which I have coloured in. And then I ended up purchasing her book because I did love her images. The one that I coloured last was Wednesday Addams. I think that's in here. And there was another one I coloured as well. This one I've done as a PDF. And also I like that one. Look at that one. The Mad Hatter. Oops. That's a really cool page. So is that one actually. So you can see they're all really different styles. Some of them are more simplistic. Some have those really dark lines. Some are more grayscaled. It's just a little bit of everything from her collection. And all I've done is coloured this on the nameplate page. That was using Prismacolor pencils from 2021. And the very last colouring book in my collection is Australia. It's a Colour in Heaven magazine. This one was released for the 2019 bushfires that we had here. And a portion of proceeds from each issue went to the Aussie Ark Wildfire Fund. So I have coloured a page in here. And this one is by Jash Lee. I actually really like Jash Lee's work, so I need to get some more of his books, I think. And this one here, I used mixed alcohol markers, as you can see at the back. I also used Prismacolor pencils over the top. The background is soft pastel, and the wings there have some extreme glitter on top. So, yeah, and I haven't picked up this book since. When was that? January 2024. Some beautiful illustrations from some lovely artists in here. Is there any more Jash Lee pages? Oh, that's interesting. Micah, Jelena. I don't think I've ever heard of that artist before. That is super grayscaled, but that'd be super fun to colour. I like that. I'm going to have to look her up. I don't think I've seen any of her work before. I don't see it as very Australian, but it is a beautiful image. Fantastic. We've got the light sources with the sunbeams coming through, the water. I think that's a footpath. Got water here. Yeah. Kanoko Agusa. Jennifer Zimmerman. Oh, here we go, more Jash Lee. I like that. It's like we've got Mother Nature here and she's bringing the kangaroos. Oh, we've got the Australian flag. All the flames behind her. It looks like she's protecting the kangaroos here from the fire. Another one from Jash Lee. Oh, we've got like the firefighter here. We've got a kangaroo and I think it's a koala. We did lose so many koalas in those fires. I'm still picturing the images in my head from those days. Like I said, I think I said it in part one that my parents were actually caught in that bushfire. The whole entirety of their house was covered in ash afterwards. It got a little bit too close to home. And we still see actually, every time we drive down there, we have to go through the mountain where the bushfire passed through before it got to my parents' place. And you can still see the burnt parts of the trees. You can see all the new regeneration, but you can still see the blackened trunks of some of the trees as well, even all these years later. Yeah, so that is my final book in my colouring book collection with all of my coloured pages. So that brings me to the end of this Every Page I Have Ever Coloured series. I did end up filming it in 2 different parts because it was turning into a very long video, but I really hope you enjoyed looking back through the years as much as I did. It has been so nice revisiting older pages, seeing how my colouring has changed, the memories, also rediscovering books that I haven't touched in a long time. Next year, I do think it would be really fun to do a randomizer picks my colouring books challenge, especially focusing on the books that only have 1 page completed. If there are any books you've seen today that you would love to see colour alongs from next year, please let me know in the comments down below. And thank you so much for sticking around and watching this with me. Take care, happy colouring, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.